I'm going to run through really quickly what the Google XML sitemap generator does. A lot of what it does is, fairly complex, and ultimately you really don't need to mess with any of the settings that are on this page, because honestly, the default settings work for any website, and we can set up any special settings that need to be changed for your website specifically. Basically what it's doing is it's indexing all the posts and comments and pages and links and everything that's on your site, and then linking that over to the major search indexes. So things like ask.com, google.com, yahoo.com, anything like that, any search engine is going to search for this sitemap, and that's how it's going to tell how to rank your website. Because if you have more recent posts or more recently made pages and they have more comments on them and more links, you're going to get more highly ranked in the actual algorithms they use to tell, who's higher on the search. It's really simple to do. You just post more and get people to comment and respond to those comments. I can run through the basics of a few of these just to kind of show you a bit of how it works. For instance, priorities. This is just telling the sitemap which things you find most important on your website. The homepage is definitely the most important because that's what you want people to see first. That's where you want people to land. Posts are really important because those are going to get updated. Pages are important because those are where the bulk of your information comes from. Archives are older posts, so those aren't as important. Tag pages and author pages are they're information that's just kind of added as a descriptor. Who the author is, what the tag for the post is, and that goes for the same with categories. But the bulk of your information is what you want the search engines to find, and that's on the static pages, the posts, and the home page. The change frequencies. So this is just telling the sitemap how often to update its information on each piece. So every day it wants to update the home page. Every month it's going to make sure to update the posts and make sure that it keeps them all updated. Static pages and categories, you kind of get a sense for how that works. Those are updated as often as they need to be. This is if you want to leave anything out of the sitemap. Honestly, you're never going to want to leave anything out unless you have some secret page that you don't want search engines to index. But you don't, so don't worry about that. The content, this is just saying what's included in the sitemap. Again, you don't really need to mess with it. This is where it is in your website. That's, just the basic setup. All search engines will search there just because that's normal. That's the first place they look. Post priority is how it tells the search engines which post is most important. This is using comment count, which means the most recent posts that have the most comments on them will be the highest indexed. Which honestly, that's what you want. You want the highest conversation post to be highest on the search engine. It'll create more buzz around that post and your website. And then these are just, who you want to be notified. Ask, Bing, and Google. Those are really the big three. And it's going to make sure to tell those three search engines whenever any change is made to your sitemap, which will be daily. And of course you can see up here when the last changes were made. And that's about it. You don't need to mess with any of these settings because honestly it can mess up your sitemap, it can mess up where you are in the search engine ranks, so it's really not a good idea to mess with these unless you really know what you're doing.